Hello YouTube. Now recently I've been having some problems with the old TV remote control. One of the buttons has started to get really troublesome, which is the power button. Now you've got to press it quite hard to get it to do anything, whereas the rest of them, it's a nice quick touch, and as you can see with the tester there, they respond. But the power button, you've got to give it a bit more pressure than normal, and it's a bit of a pain. So I'm going to whip this thing apart and show you how to go about sorting this problem out. Now what I'm going to be using for this job is some methylated spirit, something to open the case of the remote with. Now you don't want to be using a screwdriver because you'll do damage to the edges. Now I find something like this, which is an old palette knife that's almost sharp but not quite, if you know what I mean. It wouldn't actually cut you, but it's slim enough to slip between the two sides of the cases. And then we'll need a bit of cloth and some kitchen towel, and that's about it. So let's get the case open and we'll get on with this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is take the batteries out. So let's pop them out. Now we're going to take a tool of your choice, really. I mean, I'm going to use this. This works well for me. You don't do any damage with this particular method, but what you need to do is look for where the two cases join, which I think is there. Come on, get in. And then determine which way they interlock. Now I can see that it goes that way, so what we do, we slip the tool in along like this till it pops all the little clips out that hold the two halves together. And then you just keep working round like this. Now once you've got the two halves, take it all out. So just pull those contacts out like that and put the case to one side for a minute. Now this is the parts we're interested in. The circuit board and the button pads. Now what we're looking for is, I don't know whether you can see it, but you can see that there's like discoloration or residue or whatever on the pads. Now the one that was giving me the trouble was this one right at the top, which is there. Now it actually looks possibly a little bit darker than the rest, and on the pad itself it doesn't look too bad. So what we'll do, I'm going to give that a clean up with a drop of meths, and then we'll see what happens. Right, so I've got some meths on the kitchen towel, and I'm just going to give this side of the board a clean. I don't know if you can see that, but there is some muck on the towel there. then I'm just going to use my bit of cloth just to gently dry that surface off. Now that looks a lot better. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but it is now nice and clean. Can't see any residue or anything on it. So we'll turn our attention now to the actual pads. Now for that I'm going to use the cloth because the kitchen roll doesn't tend to do such a good job and breaks up. But basically it's a bit of mess on your cloth and you just want to clean the pads. Now it's sometimes easier just to pop it back into the case because it'll hold it better for you. And basically just give these a damn good, you can see the muck there that's coming off. Now bear in mind that these little pads are impregnated, I think, with I assume carbon or something to make them conductive. So you don't want to be rubbing them to death, if you like, because I don't know how robust they actually are. You don't want to be making matters worse. But I've been refurbishing remote controls for a few years now, and this is the method I've always used to get them to function again. Now there is a chance that the pads that we're actually cleaning, you may come across them where they're actually worn out. They won't, no matter how much cleaning you give them, they are never going to work. Now the remedy for that is conductive paint. You can buy a little vial of conductive paint, silver it is as a rule. Now it is expensive. I think the last time I purchased some it was around about £8 for a little, well, the actual bottle was probably round about from there, and not quite as wide as that I don't think. But if you've got an expensive remote like some of the Denon ones, to replace one of them you're looking at quite a lot of money. So to invest £8 in a bottle of silver conductive paint to revive your remote is going to be a lot cheaper than actually replacing it with a new one. Even second hand, some remotes you can pay 40, 50, 60 pounds for, which are the ones that I tend to look for when I'm going looking for stock for sale on eBay. So once you've done this cleaning, we just leave it now to evaporate. Now I know that methylated spirit can leave slight residue due to the fact it's got dye in it, but to be perfectly honest, for what we're doing here, it's hardly going to make any difference. And if you use a dry part of your cloth after you've done the initial clean, any residue from the dye is going to be wiped off, I would think. It's never given me any problem anyway. So that's what we're left with now. So we'll just leave that to evaporate and dry completely, and we'll reassemble and give it another test. Of course, if this was going out for sale on eBay, then I would of course chuck this into a bowl of water and clean all this crud from around the edges. But I'm not going that far today. I'm just going to give it a wipe because it's only for my use, and it's my crud, if you like. Another window there that's popped out. Just give that a bit of a wipe as well. and that'll do it. So we'll just come back to that in a second and I'll reassemble it. Okay, so we've put it all back together, battery to back in. So let's see what we've ended up with. Now there you go. I now just need to basically a gentle touch. That power button is really nice now, like the rest of them. I'm quite happy with the results. Just a case of a bit of a clean up on this one. And there you go. I think the biggest challenge with this is actually getting the case apart in some cases. As you can see, well, I'm hoping you can see, there's no damage to the edges using a tool like this with a very, very fine edge on it. Whereas if you used a screwdriver, you'd be sort of jabbing in and doing all this business, and you'd be chewing all the edges up. So if you can find yourself something like this to open your case, that's not obviously sharp in the sense it will cut you, but almost, then it is great for slipping in between the cases. And that has now give that another lease of life. I won't need to be buying another one for it. So I hope that's been of some use to you, and many thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.